This is a request from Ty the Phoenix, my Patreon member, which is only $2 a month, and you can jump in front of everybody else and ask me to do a review on my Patreon. It gets put up there, no hesitation. I get you if you're paying for my services, bonus of Patreon. But this movie, I'm very conflicted about. There's parts of the movie that I enjoyed. There's parts of the movie I didn't enjoy. There's storyline issues. I'm just like, what? Okay, we're just throwing this person in here. All right, sure. And I know it's an homage back to the old 1970s, 1980s kung fu flicks or martial art flicks, but the movie 2012 or 13, let me double check that real quick, pulling up the handy dandy iPad. 2012, The Man with the Iron Fist, just doesn't hit as hard as the originals do. And on this episode of Movie Breakdowns, I'm going to review The Man with the Iron Fist from 2012. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. And what's Movie Breakdowns? Movie review series. We look at new and old movies, give them a grade A through F, plus and minus do count. And there's a review you want me to do? Let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to it as best I can. I also have a Patreon, Patreon/Ali Zakka, which I talked about at the beginning of this video, where you can jump in front of everybody. You pay $2 a month, you get to add me in a review. I get to it immediately. Also, with Patreon, I have a bonus section, which is $7 a month. You get trailer reaction, trailer review, my first thoughts, and much, much more. But now, without further ado, let's get into today's request of The Man with the Iron Fist from 2012. Now, what is this movie about? I'm actually going to read you what IMDb said this movie about, because what I watch and what this description says, two completely different things. IMDb. On the hunt for a fabled treasure of gold, a band of warriors, assassins, and a rogue British soldier descend upon a village in feudal China, where a humble blacksmith looks to defend himself and his fellow villagers. That is not the movie I got. This is what I interpret from watching this movie. And I'm gonna lay it out. Okay, you ready? All right, here we go. Band of warriors, given a request by the emperor to find this treasure. The leader, two of his top generals or top soldiers or top warriors betray him, and this caused the son to get into battle to try to avenge his father, while the people who betrayed his father gets the gold. So it's a revenge story, and this blacksmith who's making weapons for both sides gets caught into the middle of it when he decides to help the son. There you go. A lot more complex. But yes, that's what it is. A revenge story where the main character gets brought into it because he was a blacksmith for both sides on his own, and then when he decides to help out one of the people in the two sides of the war, he gets dragged in, and there we go. That is The Man with the Iron Fist. That's pretty much what it is. A blacksmith that gets dragged into a battle of two opposing sides. Simple. Much more simple than this version that IMDb makes him out to be a heroic character. He's not that heroic. He's just a guy who's minding his own business who get brought into it. And this movie is pretty neat. It is based off of the 1970s, 1980s martial art flicks, where like the style and the design of the fighting is pretty much, you can tell they're not hitting each other, but it's over dramatic, over the top, and the action sequences in this movie are solid. I love it. The music I love as well. Storyline, not so much. I was not a fan of the storyline of this movie. There are certain times where I was like, characters get introduced for like a quick second or they're talked about, and then they appear like 20 minutes later and they're in a fight scene. You're just like, who is this? What's going on here? Or our main protagonist, he's pretty much out of it the whole time. Doesn't really say anything, doesn't express much emotion, get brought into it when he's trying to help somebody. Watch his girlfriend gets killed, and he's then still in like emotionless, fights the bad guy and gets his ultimate power boost in the middle of everything. And I'm just like, am I watching an anime but live action? okay, sure. In the story, I did feel like it jumped all over the place. There's characters who go off scene and you don't see them for 20 minutes and then they come back and you're just like, when did you get here? You have characters who are like appearing out of nowhere. You have a character who's just there just to have fun, and then he's like, yeah, I'm actually somebody of importance. But like, who are you? Why are you here? I get it, you flex your muscles when you kill the dude at the beginning of the brothel, but sure. This movie is rated R, by the way, guys. Just give you guys a heads up. And it's only an hour and 35 minutes long, but to me, it was just like, it was like more of an action flick with story not being a big deal. And to me, I wasn't substance in my reviews. I want substance in my movies. It's just a pure action flick with no substance. It's just like, okay, cool, but then at least make the action clean at some points. Like the hand-on-hand martial arts stuff was awesome. That was cool. But when he threw the CGI in there, sometimes it wasn't the best, and then other times just like, yeah, that's CGI. People do have their moments to shine in this movie. Like Lucy Liu has her moment, which is pretty cool. Bautista has his moment, which is pretty cool. Byron Mann also, they have their moments, which is, it's kind of neat when they like shine on those characters, and at least you get a lot of characters in this movie, but it just a lot of characters, a lot of action, and no substance, and that bothers me. Just gonna be honest. You know me by now. This is episode 230 something, and you know that how I feel when it comes to storylines. If you don't have a good solid storyline, I'm just not gonna follow the story. And I was trying to follow it in parts of the movie where it was like high points, part of the movie was like just down. Like I got a whole backstory for the blacksmith character, and I was like, how is this relevant to the main storyline? Okay, sure. It just seemed like a movie where they just threw tropes in there just so they're like, okay, well, here's our main protagonist, but let's build him up. And we don't really focus on him most of the movie, but then let's say, you know, an hour into the movie, now let's give him some shine, let's give him some light and give him a backstory here that you generally don't care about because you're not the person you've been following really. You want to know more about the son and the warriors that betrayed his father, and you want to know more about that versus like you get this blacksmith who just like, I'm here, but I didn't need a backstory on him, but we always got the backstory to show that he's also a trained martial artist himself. Okay, cool, fine, neat, nice. Also, like little things like the brothel being a bunch of trained assassins, just women who, you know, there because of fun, because it's a job, but in reality they're actually trained assassins, and like they've been waiting for this moment to kill the I'm just calling him the Silver Lion, that's his name, and Bronze Lion, kill him off so that they can get the gold that they brought into the brothel as a hiding spot. Yeah, it's a lot going on in this movie. It's a lot going on. Alright, let me go ahead and get into the cast here. So Russell Crowe as Jackknife. Russell Crowe was cool. Like majority of the time in this movie he was in the brothel. He was trying to add some comedy to the movie, and then at the end of it all he's actually like, you know, a person in the military who's high ranking. He was fine. He's a character you didn't know what side he was on. You just knew he was there, and then he ended up helping the main character. So you're like, oh, he's a good guy. Neat. You have Lucy Liu as Madame Blossom. Lucy Liu was cool. Being great. She was great in this movie. I didn't mind her. Her action scenes was pretty cool. She was awesome. Now the main character here is either Raza or RZA, who's a blacksmith. He is the main protagonist, and for the most part, he was okay. He didn't have that many lines. He's kind of narrating the movie from here and there, but really, like, his expressions and everything wasn't the best. I felt like the backstory we had to try to build him up in the middle of the movie wasn't necessary. It just, he's a blacksmith who got involved and he decided to help X-Blade out in the middle of the movie and just got his arms cut off so that he's the man with the iron fist. Because you don't know who the man with the iron fist is until you get pretty much through the backstory, and you're like, oh, he's the man with the iron fist who can now just use his ki to, or chi, I should say, to manipulate the metal so he can use it as a weapon. But I don't know. He was okay. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the strongest. Rick Yoon as X-Blade, Zing Yi. I hope I pronounced that right. He was cool. He was the son of the father who got killed and who trying to revenge his father. He was cool. Chun-Li is Bronze Lion. Or not Chun. Chun-Li is Bronze Lion. C-U-N-G. Lee, Bronze Lion, he was fine. Dave Bautista as Brass Body. I enjoyed him, thought he was cool. Jamie Chung, who played Lady Silk. Good to see her back in something because she was in the movie, Dragon Ball Evolution. So I'm glad that she's actually in something else that gave her a little more, light. But she was fine for this movie. Brian Mann, who played Ryu in Street Fighter, he was Silver Lion. I thought he was great. I loved him. And that's pretty much it as far as the cast. But yeah, really, it was Russell Crowe, Rick Yoon, Lucy Liu, Dave Bautista. This was pretty much their movie in Raws or RZA. This was like their movie, and I thought, besides RZA, who I felt like he didn't bring enough light to the character, the blacksmith. Other than that, I feel like everybody else is fine. Any other thoughts? The music is great. I actually will listen to the music of this movie. The soundtrack, the OTS, the OST, the original soundtrack for this movie is solid. I love the music. And matter of fact, listening to this movie, the background music, it reminds me of the anime Yasuke. Then Black Gold, the opening theme, and some of the music that was playing in that anime, it sounded like it was playing in this movie. And I swear there was a Rocky mix, like the boxer Rocky theme thrown into this movie as well. I'm pretty sure it was, or it sounded similar to it. It's the Lucy Liu versus the Bronze Lions fight in this movie. That music that played on that fight scene, I was like, interesting. I feel like I heard it, and it was like a little tweak on it, but it was cool. The fighting in this movie is awesome. You love action, you will love the fight scene, the choreography in this movie. They're pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Kung Fu Hustle in a sense. Great stuff there. Setting was cool. Character design, I did like how people was designed differently, and the style and unique was cool to those characters, and the look of them I thought was nice. The person who did the concept art for this movie should get a pat on the back, just a round of applause, because the concept art and the way people were designed and the costume design and designers, great. I freaking love the way people was created in their outfits, and the way they looked was awe-inspiring. That of, like I say, of an anime or a cartoon. It was pretty cool to see how they was drawn and brought to life. Like, I would love to see these people in a comic book, because the way they were designed was pretty dang cool. Is this a Friday movie? No, it's not a Friday movie. Don't watch your friends and family in grading time. I'm going to grade The Man with the Iron Fist from 2012 a D+. Now, the reason I'm giving it a D+, the storyline. I'm not a big fan of the storyline. The action is solid, the music is solid, but just this ensemble of characters thrown in together and things happening, and then in the middle of the movie, you have the protagonist finally step up and finally like get this random backstory that's like, oh, so we can build up to the end, but it was just like, yeah, cool, okay. The storyline wasn't the strongest to me, but other than that, it's fine. Like, it's not the greatest movie of the world. I've seen other kung fu or martial art movies that are much better, so it was fine for me. D+. If you've seen The Man with the Iron Fist, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of Movie Breakdowns or Grind Towards Success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome.